No need to ask, he's a smooth operator.
Hello, and thank you for joining us today on this month's episode of the Transit Talk. I'm Roger Marenco. The Transit Talk is a monthly grassroots educational program organized to bring you the two single most important fundamental elements of any and every movement. Number one, educating ourselves. Number two, organizing ourselves. So thank you for joining us today on this very first episode of 2018, January 2018. Friends, I personally asked Pete Wilson not to join me on this episode today because I would like to take a few minutes to try and clarify this situation that is happening, that's occurring at this very moment in terms of our elections, the results, who's president, who's not president, etc., and so forth. A few weeks ago, I received a letter which instructed me to report for a hearing on Friday, January 5th. 2018. I was being brought up on charges. The letter states here, countless members have expressed their outrage at your conduct and your lack of professionalism as a nominee and a member of this local. I was really confused when I read this part because countless members have expressed their outrage. I don't understand. Where did this outrage come from? Did it come from Facebook? Is it on YouTube, on Twitter? I don't understand. In reading the letter a little bit more, it says that I'm being brought up on charges for campaigning, arguing, being boisterous with election officials, and willfully interfering with the orderly conduct of the election. Reading furthermore, the letter states, you are charged with violating your oath of office by engaging in conduct unbecoming a member and of this union. You are further charged with violating Article XIX, Section 5, letter A, G, and N of the International Constitution. I was very confused when I received all of these charges. These are charges that are based on inaccurate statements, incorrect information, false accusations, rumors, etc. If any of you have questions, comments, concerns, please, friends, I think the majority of the fleet has my contact information. Give me a call. Rumors are everywhere. Don't believe the rumors. What happened on Friday, January 5th, 2018, was a hearing. We definitely had a quorum at the hearing. However, no operators were allowed in the room. Why? I'm not really sure. Maybe it's past practice. Maybe they just didn't want to let operators in the room. I don't know. I questioned the motives as to why the operators were not allowed in the room, because the operators are hungry for information. They need to hear what's happening. But unfortunately, the operators were left outside in the hallway of the union office. I questioned those motives because, like I said, the operators need information, and this is why I decided to do this episode, to try and give you the most current, up-to-date information pertaining to this particular issue. Thank you for everybody who showed up on that particular day, Friday, January 5th, 2018, to the hearing. And so the latest information is this. I received a new letter stating, at the conclusion of the hearing, the local executive board voted to suspend you for 3 months, beginning January 5, 2018, ending April 5, 2018, from your position as the Transport Workers Union Local 250A President. Now, this is sort of a good and bad letter. It is clearly stating that we definitely won the election. However, we're not going to be able to take position until April 5, 2018. When I was at the hearing, I was really confused because I didn't really understand any of these charges. I didn't understand where they were coming from. And from my belief and understanding, I think all of these charges were actually dropped, except for one. Which one? I'm not even sure, because it doesn't state here which one I'm being charged with. I remember from the hearing, many of the charges were dropped. Almost all of them were dropped, except for one. Which one? I'm not really sure. I'm still sort of left in limbo because this letter doesn't really give me a crystal clear explanation. However, I'm still here trying to give you the latest information that I have, which is this, that I am suspended from January 5 until April 5, 2018, a 3-month suspension. What's going to happen during these next 3 months? Some people are a little bit confused. They believe that the runner-up from the election is going to assume the position of acting president. Let me read to you from the International Constitution, Article 16, Section 2. So go ahead and follow along. It says, "The Vice President shall assist the President in the discharge of his or her duties, and during his or her absence shall perform the duties of the President. In the event that a vacancy occurs in the office of President, the Vice President shall act as President for the unexpired term." That's from the International Constitution. Now, according to our local bylaws, go ahead and grab your local bylaws and follow along. I believe it's page 5, Article 7, Section 1. It says, and I quote, "In the event that a vacancy occurs in the office of the President, the Executive Vice President shall act as President for the unexpired term." So, with that being stated, who was elected to that position? That would be Pete Wilson. So at the moment, Pete Wilson is acting president up until April 5, 2018, when I return and assume the positions and duties of the president. Once again, friends, I'm still just confused and baffled, just as much as you are, in terms of these false accusations, these inaccurate allegations, etc. Because the best way that I can try and explain it is you being accused of murder, rape, grand theft auto, racketeering, when all you really did was jaywalk. Does jaywalking merit you going to prison for the rest of your life? No. So that's the best way that I can try and begin to explain it, because like I said, at the moment I'm still confused. But I did want to give you that little bit of information that I do have to try and pacify everybody's concerns, comments, questions, etc. Who's the president? Who's not the president? Who's the vice president? What's happening here, etc. and so forth. Everything else that you guys have heard have been rumors. And if you want to get crystal clear information from me, please feel free to contact me. I think the majority of the fleet has my contact information, and at the moment that is the most current up-to-date information that I have. I wanted to say this before we end this very short segment. Friends, do not give in, do not give up, because I am not giving in, I am not giving up. Don't lose hope, don't lose faith, don't lose your spirit, because I am not losing any of that. This is just going to make us stronger. It's going to make us come together as a group, as a unit. So please remember to continue to get involved. Do not lose any of your fighting spirit that you have inside you, because I am not. So with that in mind, I encourage you to show up to the general membership assemblies, which are the third Wednesdays of every month. In the near future, the Transit Talk is going to be restructured and reorganized in a more, how can I say this, in a better, easier manner, so that we can, well, just stay tuned, and in a couple of months you'll see exactly what it is that, that we're going to do with the Transit Talk, how we're going to restructure it and reorganize it. Friends, thank you. If you have any other comments, questions, concerns, etc., please contact us. The email address is thetransittalk@gmail.com. You can also feel free to join the official Facebook group page for the Transit Talk, and follow us on Twitter. So thank you very much for everybody, for all of your help, all of your support. Do not give in, do not give up, don't lose your hope, faith, your fighting spirit. Until next time, be safe out there.